Had they been real, the market value would have been $48 million.
No. I think a lot of people forget that we're only temporary stewards of our collections. The next question I have for you leading into that is if somebody finds herself in possession of a counterfeit coin, what can they do? How can the ACEF help?
We have a section in our website that says report a counterfeit or report a fake. And you can fill out a form and leave it there for us. We do go through everyone that's reported to us. But one important facet is it helps us identify where the counterfeits are coming from. And we pass the information along to the pertinent law enforcement agencies. Now, bear in mind, as I said earlier, they don't have the resources to investigate one coin or two coins. Often we find patterns that the same entity, whether it's online or they have a physical location, are selling to hundreds of people. And those are the ones that are more often than not law enforcement's going to go after. When we first started working with federal law enforcement, they said, unless the loss is at least $50,000, the federal prosecutors won't take the case. Bear in mind that the law enforcement can investigate and make arrests and confiscate, but it takes a federal or either a state prosecutor or a county prosecutor to then bring you to a court of law. The threshold, as I said, back in 2016 and 17, when we first got started, was $50,000. Today, they said, well, we can't get a federal prosecutor to take a case until the harm is at least $1 million.
Oh, wow.
And we have brought cases and helped with investigations. There was a guy in Pennsylvania a couple of years ago that this couple had purchased some silver dollars, and they took him to a local dealer. He looked at him, he said, every coin you purchased is counterfeit. And they were just absolutely beside themselves.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
And we saw this guy on Facebook, and he said he was a law enforcement officer, and he just stole coins on part-time. And he said, and we have an appointment to go back and buy gold coins tomorrow. He said, really? So the dealer called us, and we said, super, we'll set up a sting operation. And we had a Secret Service agent that went along as the sister of the woman, this couple, and made the transaction, of course, arrested him on the spot. When they got a search warrant to go into his home, they confiscated counterfeit coins. Had they been real, the market value would have been $48 million.
No.
He was prosecuted, and
Wow.
I'm happy to report is now sitting in federal prison in the state of Pennsylvania. He got 18 years.
That's a massive win for the hobby, folks. And so,
and also fined into the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Congratulations on those. I love hearing the success stories.
Not every case is that big, but there have been smaller, less dramatic cases. But it happens, and it sometimes boggles the mind to understand the depth of what is happening.
Eric, Copper Coins loves this question. Do you know what the number one most counterfeited item is?
Offhand, I would say the American Silver Eagle.
Okay, now I'm not talking money. I'm talking just in general.
Oh, in general?
In general.
Oh, wow.
It'll blow your mind.
The one that blew my mind was toilet paper.
Oh, yeah, that could be a stinky situation.
Charmin toilet paper. That comes straight from customs agents.
That's crazy. So the answer is flip-flops, chunkless, sandals.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all.
He was looking at some stuff and was talking to a customs officer, and he was like, if you really look at the numbers, it's almost 2 times more money for counterfeit sandals than any other. So
one interesting fact, way back when I first got involved in this, the Coin World did an investigation with the New York Times more than a year. And we interviewed a counterfeiter who claimed to be the largest in China. And we said, why would you do this? And he said, it's my business. And we said, aren't you afraid of officials in China? He says, no, I'm licensed by the state, by the NAPAC. I have a license. And he actually sent us a picture of his license. And later on, I was privileged to go to China, and I went into the shops, and they have a sign in Chinese that says everything in this shop is a copy or replica. And I told my friends who were with us, I said, do not buy any coin or anything because they're all going to be counterfeit. They couldn't be. And I said, okay, there's a sign right up there. One of the guys who was in our group traveling was a collector, and he wanted to buy stuff. And I said, first of all, you're going to get in trouble if you buy it and try to take it.
Yeah.
And so I said, take a picture of the sign. And when we get back to the hotel, ask our guide, who was not with us. It was a free afternoon that we had. I said, get her to translate that into English. And sure enough, it said everything in this shop is a replica.
And we do that for their own protection, right?
Mhm.
So if anybody ever comes back, it's like, we listed it. It's not my fault. You don't speak the language. So, but they know our laws probably as well or better than most of us. If you're going to be engaging in any foreign travel or any foreign investment or things of that nature, you had better understand the laws, not only for US when you're coming back, but you better understand their laws.
Some things you can buy in their countries, in the various countries, but they are not made for export. If you buy them and use them in that particular country, you're fine. But the minute you try to take them out.
Yeah.
And also, this is true in the United States, some plants and, of course, animals are strictly prohibited, and people try to smuggle them out thinking, oh, I'll put a little clipping of this or put that in my purse or my luggage. And they're very serious about those kinds of things.
A great example of that is I grow plumeria. It's the Hawaiian layflower. They're all over the tropics. And you can do that, but you have to be very specific. There can't be any dirt attached to it. There can't be any root attached to it. It has to be a bare bone stock. There can only be so many. It has to be wrapped a very specific way. And there are people who think, hey, well, I'm going to go think I'll just break off the thing and take it with me. You can't do that. There are very specific things that you have to do. So again, the important thing here is understand the applicable laws in whatever country you're with or the country that you're sending it from. So I appreciate that. We've talked about the red flags. We've talked about the various things that people have to watch for. I guess the final question that I have for you, Beth, is this. If you and I were to kind of come up with one of the most single best pieces of information that you could give somebody in this hobby to protect them, what would that be?
Know who you're dealing with.
Outstanding.
And we suggest that people get to know their local dealers or either members of local coin clubs. And as a matter of fact, we have a program called Trusted Experts, and we've identified about 230 that are at our website. You can go under Trusted Experts and you can put in your address and you can find those experts, usually within a 50-mile radius of where you live. We recommend that you spend some time, go to their shop, go meet them. The people, and these are people who have been vetted. They have had background checks. They've been in business at least 10 years. They have industry recommendations, and many of them are people that have worked directly with ACEF and working with law enforcement. They want to sell you, but an item or coins or whatever you are interested in. But when you get ready to sell, they're going to be the most interested buyer to buy your coins or whatever, because they know what they are. And there's a market for them. Get a personal relationship with several sellers. So, because many of them specialize, go to local shows, join your local club, learn what this market is all about. It can be informative. It can be enjoyable. One of the great things is getting to know the various experts. You can go to some of the regional and national coin shows and meet the most wonderful people, but also the experts that can tell you all kinds of things about the coins and give you good advice. It's out there if you will only speak it. And to think that you're going to get bargains or whatever from somebody that lives halfway around the world, and maybe you buy something and you think you've got a good deal. Who are you going to sell it to?
Yeah.
Even if it's genuine, who are you going to sell it to? It's probably going to have to be professionally graded and authenticated. And then where are you going to sell it? It's the same way with like the major auction houses in this country, buying and selling online. There's good source. When you can sign an item to these auction houses, the first thing they're going to do is have it graded and authenticated. And when you buy, it is rare that anything gets past them and it turns out that it's questionable or it's counterfeit. I can only think of 1 or 2 instances that something like that happened. They make good on it. You have a guarantee when you're dealing with reputable people. Anyway, with our trusted experts, they pledge to us that they're not going to knowingly sell you a counterfeit. And if they do, they will make good on it. You want that confidence and ability to know that you're dealing with reputable people.
I really appreciate that. I appreciate that for a couple different reasons. Number one, my channel is about networking primarily. And I tell people all the time, it's like, look, folks, I can't know everything and I'm not even going to try. But what's important is that I know the people who do know it. And those are the relationships you have to cultivate if you want to be good in this hobby. And so when I'm talking with Jack, and Jack, you've known Jack for a number of years,
Yeah.
to be able to come up and say, hey, here's a situation. This is what's going on. This is what's happening. I've got some good friends over at Harlan J. Burke who have come up and talked about some things. Great coin shop, been around for a long time. And one of the things that you hear from them is whether it's their own private shop or whatnot, if something happens, they'll guarantee it. But the other thing is, and folks, if you ever go to buy something, whether it be silver, gold, palladium, platinum, it doesn't matter, and you ask them to test it for you and they get upset with you, you probably don't want to be doing business with them. Because they want their reputation, they should want their reputation to be solid and secure. And so they would want to do that because they want to enable and embody reliability, accuracy, trust, and build that relationship themselves. Because if they can do that, then they know they have a continued buyer. So again, Beth, thank you so much for coming in today. Thank you so much for your time and effort. And I really appreciate, you guys really are doing the Lord's work.
Thank you. And let me get a pitch and tell everybody that we are funded entirely by donations. So if you want to support us, you like our program, want us to do more, go to our website. There's a place that you can donate online. We'd appreciate any donation. No donation is too small because most of our people are volunteers. In fact, all of them are volunteers, their time. But it still takes resources to be able to reach out and fund these programs and to bring them to people. So if we'd appreciate all the support we can get, it's acefonline.org. And just go through the site at your leisure. There's lots of information there for you.
Outstanding. And again, all the links to the descriptive items that we talked about, whether it be the calipers, the weights, the ANA, the ACEF, all of those links will be in the description down below. You'll have a full resource. If you want to know more about this, let me know. Reach out to them, let them know. And again, just ask questions. That's the important thing. All right, Beth, thank you so much for your time. I greatly appreciate you. And I'm sure that there'll probably be more of these in the future. So I appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Be well, be blessed, folks. And I will see you in the streams. Take care.